Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. Well, they did it to us again. On a weekend when they figured nobody was going to notice, the House of Representatives yesterday passed $60 billion worth of spending to send to Ukraine, including $300 million to bolster their border, and rejected a single penny going to protect our own border here in the United States. Speaker Johnson passed this with the help of all the Democrats. Of the Republicans, 101 Republicans sided with the Democrats, 112 said no, and then, of course, you had a few that refused to vote, voted present, didn't show up, whatever. How well represented are we? This is the problem, okay? And I've told you guys I was putting this together for the last year, and it's about time that I put this out. I will continue to add to this as important things come out. But too many people in the American public believe if somebody's got a D or an R behind their name, their morals, their virtues, their decisions align with themselves. You couldn't be more mistaken. Okay. Many people have coined the phrase uni-party, that we have one party in Washington, they do what they want to do, and it doesn't matter what the constituents want to do. They play the public for stupid, rightfully so, and just go pat each other on the back and go, hey, yeah, you know what, we'll do this or we'll do that. So yesterday, for the 6th time of me finding an important issue since late last summer, we got to see the true colors of a whole bunch of Congresspeople. Now, many of you may also remember a couple of years ago, before the 2022 election, I said I was considering running for Congress. Some people thought it'd be a good idea. Some people thought it'd never happen. The reason I was going to was because before we were redistricted in Tennessee, we had one of the most liberal most liberal Republican congressmen in my district. Chuck Fleischman, who now represents the 2nd district, he always represented the 2nd district. I just got moved into the 3rd as we added a new district, is an absolute piece of garbage. Okay, he's a Democrat through and through. Just puts an R behind his name and people vote for him because it's Tennessee. And hey, you know what? He's a Republican. He must agree with me. Instead, I got Tim Burchett, who Tim Burchett is actually a conservative with conservative values and votes those conservative values. Chuck Fleischman? No. Chuck votes in lockstep with the Democrats on practically every issue. All the time you hear these Congress critters go, look at my voting record. So I did, for every single one of them. And I want to share this with you. Okay. The findings that you will see are going to be eye-opening at the very least. How many of these people claim to be Republicans, claim to be conservatives, and aren't? The only reason that they claim to is because they know that district votes overwhelmingly Republican, and so therefore they go, hey, you know what? I'll pretend I'm a Republican. I'll just go to Washington and vote Democrat, and nobody will ever know the difference. They'll just go, look, he's got an R behind his name, and do it. So when I did this, I didn't worry about the stupid bills that they voted on, okay? I could care less how somebody votes on renaming a post office or something like that, or if they were going to censure Ilhan Omar, or if they were going to condemn the use from the river to the sea or something. I didn't care about that. Okay. I looked at the important things. The vote they had on the NDAA. The first vote they had last summer on continuing funding Ukraine. On impeaching Alejandro Mayorkas. On supporting the January continuing resolution. Remember the one that Mike Johnson said when they gave him the gavel that he'd never put another CR up? Okay, yep, they did anyway. Okay. On voting to continue FISA surveillance. And then, of course, yesterday on approving $60 billion for Ukraine while the U.S. got nada. Okay. I went through this. Every single Republican congressman. I didn't give a rat's ass about Democrat congressmen because it'll be a cold day in hell before I ever vote for a Democrat. Okay, so I'm not worried about what they do. I wanted to see the Democrats who are masquerading as Republicans. That's what I put together with this. Here's an interesting fact, and I'll let you go through this list. I'm going to post a link below in the description to the community page, my community page on freesteading. The reason I did that, it's the only place that I can post a link that you guys can get to it. Okay, I can't post a link on Facebook or something, you know, a spreadsheet or Facebook or on YouTube because they just don't allow it. And the file's too big to show you on the screen here. It'd be teeny tiny print. Nobody'd ever be able to read it. I will let everybody know before I get a million emails, okay? You have to download the link. It's an Excel spreadsheet. That's it, okay? You have to download the link in order to be able to read it. The file's too big for it to show up on the freesteading page, at least from me checking this morning. Maybe you can do it, but I couldn't get it to open, but I could download it and read it on my own computer. All right. This is where it gets interesting. Of all the Congress critters we have, there are only 14 that on the 6 issues, only 6 that I have tracked, the important ones that I found important. Only 6 that voted with conservative principles each and every time. The interesting part is there were 8 that voted in lockstep with the Democrats on every single issue. Dan Crenshaw, Darrell Issa, for a couple of examples of names you know. You can lump them right in with the Adam Kinsingers or the Liz Cheneys of the world. They aren't RINOs. They're Democrats. They're liberals. They don't agree with anything that the conservatives stand for. That's a problem. With yesterday's spending, $60 billion, another $60 billion. I mean, what are we over, 300 billion or something like that, at least, that we've sent to Ukraine right now? I mean, God knows how much military equipment, but that's how much cash we've sent. You know, I hope Zelensky's wife wants another shopping trip, and, you know, Zelensky himself can go buy himself another mansion in South Florida or you know, in Venice or something. Because God knows you and I are paying for it. Like I said, not a single penny was allocated to the U.S. border, but 300 million of that was allocated to securing the Ukrainian border. Never, ever, ever again do I want to hear a single congressman tell me that Social Security is going to go broke. Ever. We can find money to piss away to every foreign country in the world, but we can't do anything for the people of the United States. Who put the money there in the first place? It's my tax dollars. It's the money that was withheld from my paycheck and equally paid for by my employer through 40 plus years of me working that they robbed. And I did a video 6-8 months ago about how much they robbed from me in regards to Social Security. If what I would have had the money put in was the S&P 500 or something simple as simple as a savings account. If I put it in the S&P, I'd have over $1 million lump sum. If I put it in a savings account, I'd have $500,000 lump sum. And Uncle Sam is telling me there's not going to be a penny for Social Security by the time I retire in 7 years. Okay. No. If we can throw away all this money to Ukraine, to Israel, to Gaza, to Taiwan, to defending Europe because they're too cheap to defend themselves. No, we can pay for the people of the United States. We can do something for all the homeless vets in this country. We can do something for all the homeless, period. Okay? But the vets hold a place close to my heart that we need to be taken care of. We piss away money all over the place while you and I suffer from higher prices, less coverage. Think about going to the doctor anymore. Before Obamacare, my insurance premiums for the family, my ex-wife, myself, and my daughter, were like $150 a month with, I think it was like a $3,000 deductible. Now Mrs. P's insurance is $260, just her, $260 a month with a $16,000 deductible. Okay? That's, remember, it was going to get cheaper. We get bent over left and right by every one of these votes. And people don't pay attention. When you go on this spreadsheet and look up your congressman, hopefully you know who they are. Okay? If not, go find out. Go see how well you are represented in Washington. Go see how your ideals are voted upon. Did you want to see Mayorkas impeached? Do you want the government to be able to spy on you without a warrant? Okay. Do you want to keep sending tax dollars to Ukraine? Would you rather have seen the government shut down rather than continuing borrowing money and driving inflation up? Go look and see how your congressman voted. And then decide how you're going to vote come November. Because remember, every representative in the House is up for re-election every 2 years. Are you going to vote for him? Go to one of his town halls and ask him, why did you vote on this? Why did you vote on this? Why did you vote on this? And when he says, oh, I didn't do that, I put on the bottom of the spreadsheet the date and the roll call number, if you will, the bill number if there was one. So you can go look it up, print the damn thing out off of the Congress page, and throw it in their face and go, you lying son of a bitch, get your ass out of here. Now, by no means am I saying vote for the Democrat instead, because you can guarantee they will vote against your free will or against your will. But maybe this will tell people, hey, you know what? When somebody is primarying this person, I need to vote for the other guy. And I need to go tell the other guy, hey, this is what you need to campaign on. Because, rather than talk about his comments on abortion or what he thinks about transgenderism or any of that sort of crap, okay? Talk about the stuff that actually hits Americans right between the eyes. Their money, their safety, their security, and their privacy. In other words, their liberty, okay? This is what people need to know. This is what people need to get educated on. Not just the difference between a D and an R, but what the people actually vote on. They keep asking, look at my voting record. Okay, I did. Simple as that. You know, Ukraine, you want $60 billion worth of equipment? Buy it from us. Last time I checked, the United States is a capitalist society, okay? Means if you want something, you pay for it. Sure, there's charity. We give stuff out of the goodness of our heart. I do it. You do it. We try to help other people with the leg up, not a handout, right? But why in the hell do we need to give a country who is not a freaking ally, who is not part of any alliance we are in, so much money that you could give everybody in this country a nice chunk of change, at least enough to go buy a week's worth of groceries, every single person. But no, we're going to give it to one of the most corrupt countries in the world. We're already finding the weapons we sent on the black market being sold by terrorists. Okay, I think it was Sweden that reported that some 6 months ago, that they found handheld surface-to-air missiles, I believe they were, in the hands of terrorists that came from the U.S. We can't account for so much other stuff because, of course, that went to buy Zelensky's mansions or his wife's shopping trip, or, of course, there's always the 10% kickback to the big guy. We know that comes. Go look and see how your Congress people voted. And when you get sickened by the representation you have, make sure you do whatever you can to get them the hell out. Call them out in a damn town hall. Embarrass the crap out of them at one of them. You know, stand up and say, why did you vote to continue surveillance on people? Why did you vote to continue to send money to Ukraine and no money to the southern border? Why did you vote on keeping Mayorkas in office? And when they're yeah, go. Good. You've just explained to everybody in this room why nobody needs to vote for you. Go resign. Do yourself a favor. We need true conservatives running this country to make America great again. Not fake conservatives, not RINOs, not full-blown liberals. They're the ones that screwed this whole place up in the first place. It's time we clean house. And the only way we're ever going to do that is if the people know how they were represented. Go look at this. The link is below. Don't lose your lunch when you read it. Pinball out.